What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bottom Line on Sports, our show about the intersection of sports and money. He's Jeremy Pink. I'm Jean-Jacques Taylor. What's on the docket today, bro?
We're talking some of our favorite subjects. We're talking, we've got a big number to start with, which I think is related to the Miami Heat Bam Adebayo extravaganza from last night. And we're taping this on a Wednesday afternoon, in case you can't tell. Secondly, we're going to talk about some of the latest money in dealings in and around NFL free agency, talking lots of NIL college football items this week. And we got our typical Ohio State topic as well.
The number, my friends, 452,397.80. See that puzzled look on your face? That, my man,
It's very
is
precise.
the amount of money Bam Adebayo makes per basketball game.
Oh wow. So how much? 450,000 did you say?
452,000.
452,000. So per game, which means that's about $6,000 a point from last night.
See, there you go.
Yeah, something like
37 million for the season. And I think for $37 million for a season, you should score 83 points in a game every now and then.
Yeah, but 37, we were talking about this briefly. 37 million is a huge amount of money. It's not that huge amount of money for an NBA player, particularly,
No.
an Olympian and an all-star and somebody of his status.
No, it's matter of fact, I wonder if he's in the top 10 of highest paid NBA players.
No, not even close.
Which is, I mean, that's money on a whole nother level for an athlete. Football players are just not getting there. Baseball players have been there for a minute, but that's just insane money. $37 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
But I often justify it by saying, you got to remember, there are 1%er. There's only 1% of people in the world, not even that many, who can do what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he gets paid $37 million. Now, did you watch that game? Because it was a hot topic at the gym this morning.
Oh, is that right? I wouldn't know. I didn't go to the gym. Yeah.
The topic was, why are so many people hating on Bam's performance? And I just said, the world is full of haters. And then I read about it today. I go, oh, I see why they're hating on it.
No, I mean, it's like, look, I mean, did you see the starting lineup from the? I defy you to name any of the starters from the Washington Wizards who they played against last night. This was like
I could only guess Trae Young or Anthony Davis.
They're both out.
How about the rookie they took in the first round?
I can't remember. I can't even remember. I looked it up briefly. I can't even remember the names anymore. But it was like we were talking about this earlier too. This was like, you know what this was like? This was like a top quality EYBL AAU team versus a town team. And so of course, the star player on the EYBL AAU team, which is Bam Adebayo in this circumstance, is going to score a ton of points. But yeah, what they did in the fourth quarter, I watched the last bit of the game. What they did in the fourth quarter is just basically just get the ball to him. And he shot 43 free throws.
I think that's the thing. It's 43 free throws. I think that was the thing that had people going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that you're up by 20 or 30 and you're fouling to try to get the ball back. And so it seemed to be that they were thinking it was not as an authentic 83, like in the course and the flow of the game. And my point is, it's hard to score 83 points in an NBA game. So,
right.
You can't even do that on video if you're playing NBA 2K.
Right.
It's hard to score 83 points in a game.
Right. Right. Yeah, but you also have to figure that, he passed Kobe, who I think it was about 20 years ago. Kobe had 81, and then Wilt had 100, and I think Wilt also scored like 78 at one point too. So I think Wilt has like two of the top 4 or 5. But you're telling me that Wilt's 100 or Kobe's 81, which I sort of vaguely remember.
Well, I remember Kobe's 81.
Yeah, but Kobe's 81 was, I could have scored 81 with the number of shots he put up in that game, So I think they're all going to have something to them that are going to make them, whether it's inauthentic or not, but who cares? I think to your point, 83 points is hard to do.
Yeah, even if you got 43 from the free throw line, it's hard to do.
That's right.
That being said, let's move on to NFL free agency. And the big news, man, it's really NFL free agency, NFL trades, NFL offseason. And here's why this is the biggest news. It's not just that the Raiders rescinded their trade with the Baltimore Ravens for Max Crosby. Or the Ravens
I think the
rescinded it.
Ravens rescinded it.
Yeah, the Ravens rescinded the
Yeah.
trade. The Raiders sent Max Crosby to the Ravens for two number one draft choices. The Ravens had his physical and decided to rescind the trade. Once they rescinded the trade, the next day they signed Trey Hendrickson for the same, basically the same exact money they were gonna assume from Max Crosby's contract. Now here's the deal. Here's the inside story. Having covered the NFL since 1995.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you before you get into that. But they also didn't give up two number one draft picks.
Right.
Yeah.
They just paid the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So for having covered the NFL since 1995, you could show up with two broken legs and a broken wrist.
Mm-hmm.
If they want you to pass the physical, you'll pass the physical.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that the Ravens were like, I didn't pass the physical. Well, you knew he had a torn meniscus when he showed up
Mm-hmm.
that had been surgically repaired and they wouldn't be ready to play for a certain amount of months.
Mm-hmm.
None of this is new to you. And so to me, I think they just, and several other people have reported this, they're just like, oh, we thought Trey Hendrickson was going to cost a lot more than $28 million a year. Well, hell, why should,
right?
Let's just rescind the trade. Now, here's the problem, though, bro. The Raiders went out and operated as though they didn't have Max Crosby's money on their books.
Mm-hmm.
So they signed you to a deal and you to a deal and me
mm-hmm.
to a deal,
mm-hmm.
and we're all happy. We're popping bottles.
Mm-hmm.
They said, nah, Max Crosby's on your roster.
Right.
And you got about 24 hours to figure out, because these deals don't come through until the first day of the league year, which I think is tomorrow, Wednesday.
Oh, it's today.
Oh, it's today.
Yeah.
So they got to figure out what to do to get under the salary cap and get all these other deals done. Otherwise, you can't do them.
Right.
And so it is a huge mess, man. And the Ravens have effectively screwed everybody.
Yeah. So let me, from a Ravens point of view, I think they did a simple equation and they said, okay, I can get Max Crosby at X number of dollars, whatever that number of dollars is, and it's going to cost me, two draft picks. Okay, so that's bucket A. Bucket B is, I can get a player. I don't think Hendrickson's a little bit older, is probably not as good as Max Crosby, but if you take Hendrickson and now you have those picks back, that's actually a greater package probably than what Max Crosby is. And so I think that's what, I think that was their calculus. That's number one. I think if I'm Max Crosby, I think the Raiders might be okay. Although I'm not a huge Mendoza fan, they'll draft Mendoza, but I think the Raiders might be okay this year. So yeah. I think if he stayed there, he's probably going to be totally fine. He's probably going to be okay. The downside, though, for the Raiders is if they do try to trade Max Crosby now, there's no way they're getting two number ones for him. No chance.
I don't know if they'll get what number one for him.
Yeah, they might get like a 2 and a 3 or something, but they're not going to get a 1 for him. So I think if there are salary cap implications for the Raiders, which is you're saying, I'm sure you're right that there are. They're going to end up worse off for sure.
It's and I like to make all these things relative. It's like if your household budget, you go, hey, I'm getting a check this week for I did some work for the JJT Media Group. I'm getting a check for $10,000 because I've already done the work. He told me the check be here this week. So let's go ahead and do this, this, and this because the money will be here this week.
Right.
And then I go, hey, man, I didn't send a check. Give me about a month. I'll get it to you.
Right.
And you're like, bro, I got this stuff right now.
Yeah.
And, you might figure out a way to make it work, but it's a big pain in the butt to try to get down with it.
But you would never have a client pay late. That never happens,
Man, we don't want to talk about that.
I know.
We ain't got enough time for that.
I know. Yeah, we both run our own businesses, and that's always a
Yeah.
that's always an issue. So, uh,
You also had in other news the center market got busted, which is kind of insane to me. And again, it goes with the Baltimore Ravens, who lost their center to the Raiders, ironically enough. Starting the highest paid center in the NFL made, I believe,
was it 15, 14?
18.
It was at 18, yeah.
They paid this dude an average of 27.
Yeah, 50. That's right. It was 18, right? 50% increase in the market. Yeah,
Like,
in the
what
market.
are y'all doing?
Well, so from your experience, I want to ask you this question in a second. I want to know where you see the relative value of a center, but compared to some of the other players, because you would
Right,
consider, quarterback, left tackle, probably maybe even wide receiver, edge rusher, maybe as a top four.
right.
But putting that aside for a second, if you took a center, A, is the center undervalued? And B, if I'm the Raiders and I have like essentially one of the top centers in the league, and I pair that center with a rookie quarterback, is that actually worth it? Is he going to be helpful to the rookie quarterback or not? Number one. And number two is, where do you see the relative, in the hierarchy of important positions in the NFL, where do you see center?
Um, that you can answer that all with the same thing. Really, to me, center is the second most important offensive line position behind left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
If it were me, it'd be left tackle, center, right tackle, and then you can stack the guards however you want to stack them.
Right.
And here's why. Here's why you want a quality center with a young quarterback. Okay, in today's NFL, your quarterback's already got to come to the line of scrimmage and read the defense. And based on what he sees in today's NFL, he either says, basically, we're going to stick with the play that we call, or kill, we're going to the second
Mm-hmm.
play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what a quarterback's got to do. Young quarterback's got to do. Now, if you also ask him to say, hey, make sure you can identify 53 is the mic so you know where the blitz is coming from and how to shade the protection. And then you ask him to say, make some just changes with the blocking assignment based on the run front that he sees. You're asking him to do a whole lot in 20 seconds by the time they get to the line of
Mm-hmm.
scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some can't do it, but you asking him to do a whole lot,
Mm-hmm.
which means what? The propensity for you to screw something up is
Goes
much
up,
greater.
goes up. Yeah.
So you get a veteran center and you tell the quarterback, you just worry about reading the safeties and figuring out what to do. Get us in the right play. We're going to let the center make the run call, make the blocking scheme change, identify the Mike linebacker, shift the protections and all of that. We'll let him do that. And that's why a terrific center, is worth their weight in gold. And that's why, to me, they're the second most important position on
Right.
the line besides left tackle.
So it sounds to me like it's a combination of both. This may be a situation where, because you have a rookie quarterback coming in, you might have a tendency to overpay the center for the first couple of years to work in tandem with a rookie quarterback. But that being said, it sounds like the center position might be undervalued anyway. Is that
No,
is
it
that about
is.
right?
Yeah. And the other thing is, you're a team that sucks. So when I'm competing against
Oh,
teams, I
if
may have, huh?
if Mendoza is halfway decent, which we don't know, I don't think the Raiders will suck. I think the Raiders will be, depending on Mendoza, could be anywhere between a 7 and a 10 win team next year, maybe a 7 and a 9 win team. I don't think they'll be at the bottom of the league
That's
by
what I
any.
mean.
Yeah.
So if you're the Raiders and you suck right now,
Hmm.
then sometimes you got to overpay to get you to come
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, that
because
makes sense. Yeah.
you suck. And
Yeah.
so you gotta provide the proper incentive for
Right.
you to get here, which is money. And
Uh-huh.
so and the Raiders had a lot of money under the salary cap, so them overspending to make sure they got the player that they wanted
Uh-huh.
is great for him. But that's why you overspend,
Yeah, and they're also not paying a quarterback the big money.
right?
Salary cap itself went up, so there's actually probably a lot more room now
Yeah,
than they had thought. And maybe now if they have their two draft picks back, they have to spend even less, than they thought. So
yeah. That whole thing is still wild to me,
no,
man.
I'm sorry, the Ravens had the draft picks, but
Yeah,
but they have Max. Actually, I'm wrong. They have Max Crosby, so they may have to pick up his salary now. But
I
uh,
still think they're gonna move Crosby. Uh, it's hard to trade a dude and
yeah,
then bring him back. Be like,
yeah,
hey, buddy, we didn't really mean to trade
right.
you. Don't worry about that.
Well, you see what's happened to. I don't know if you remember the Lakers tried to make the trade for the center from Charlotte last year and put Dalton Connect. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Dalton Connect hasn't seen the court since then. So yeah, he's still on the Lakers. You know,
No,
he,
it's just a
he
hard thing to do,
yeah,
man. Problem is though, now they've got no leverage on the trade because everybody's going to overblow the
yeah.
name tag, like, oh my
hmm
god, and so
Damaged goods, damaged goods.
they'll-
The Ravens wouldn't even sign him. Yeah.
my suspicion is they'll have to get 50 cents on the dollar, and they'll have to make it a conditional deal, like we'll give you a 2 or we'll give you a 3,
You think it's devalued 50 cents on the dollar? Wow.
dude. I mean, because they're going to be like, hey, Darren Cooper. Here's a trivia question for you.
Okay.
Dan Cooper is the foremost knee authority in the country.
hmm
You got a knee problem, you want Dr. Cooper to handle it.
Okay.
Dr. Cooper is the Cowboys team doctor, which just means he's with the Cowboys on Sundays. They send all their guys to him. And then when you got special cases like Max Crosby, and he says, hey, I want the best doctor in the country to look at my knee, they
hmm
go, fly to Dallas and we'll get you in.
hmm
When my son hurt his knee playing football, Dr. Cooper looked at him.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Dad pulled the strings.
Yeah,
Dad,
sure.
Dad called the Cowboy and said, "Hey, I need to get my son in to see Cooper. What I need to do?"
Uh-huh.
They said, "Well, he's working these days. We'll call him and see if he can work him in."
hmm
Worked him in, looked at him, and he had a slight tear of the patellar tendon, very slight tear. But anyway, so when Dr. Cooper says you got these issues, there's like nowhere else to go to be like, well, he's not really
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
so
so
the second opinion doesn't matter in this case. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And so I think what'll happen, but if you believe that he's right, you'll say, well, I'll give you a 2, or I'll give you a 2 and a 3. And if he gets 10 sacks, which if he's right, he should get, then that'll convert to a 2 and a 1, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if he plays, 14 games, or he plays 85% of the snaps, it'll convert to a 1 and a 3, or, whatever thing you can do to say that if he really does what he should do, we don't mind giving you the draft capital. But if he's over here and he's hurt and he ain't playing, nah, we ain't finna give you that.
So do you think if the Ravens let's say a slightly different scenario, let's say it was rumored that the Ravens were about to complete this deal for two number ones for Crosby, and they backed out at the end before they could consummate the deal, not for reasons of his physical, but because they just decided they didn't want to do the deal. It had nothing to do with his knee. Do you think if he entered into the marketplace today, he would still get two number ones for him or not? Or do you think that was just too high of a price to pay to begin with?
You can appreciate this because that's two different questions. If you enter the marketplace, would you get two number ones? It's all driven by supply and demand.
hmm
Like, how many teams want him? The more teams that want him, like Dallas was hot and bothered after him. And so Dallas said, we'll give you I think Dallas said a
Dallas
one.
was
No,
Dallas was less. Yeah.
Dallas said a 1, a 2, and a starting defensive tackle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they said, we'd rather have two number ones.
Yeah.
So if, so now with the knee problem, you stick him out in the free market.
Yeah, it's different. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm just thinking that if the Ravens backed out because it and
And he
other
was completely healthy or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
He had whatever you thought he had.
hmm
You probably I don't think you get two number ones. I think
Maybe
you
what the
probably get
Cowboys.
a 1. You probably get a 1 and a 2, or a 1 and a 3.
Yeah, probably what the Cowboys offered. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think part of this, that's kind of what I think. So I think part of it is the Ravens and the Ravens also, I think, are it's very unusual for them to trade number one picks at all. So I think the
Mhm.
Ravens might have just said, "Oh man, we got consumed in a market." It's like overbidding for like use your analogy. It's like overbidding for a house, and then when you sort of come back down to earth, you look around and go, "That house isn't
Baby, I
worth
can't
that."
believe you
Yeah,
put that bid in.
yeah,
That's what
right, exactly, exactly. So I think it may be something like that, but who knows? Who knows? But you do think he'll be with another team? You think Crosby won't stay
yeah.
with the Raiders? Well,
I don't think he's with the Raiders when the season starts.
I think
Yeah.
he might be. I think he might be.
All right. We'll put $1 on it.
Put a dollar on it.
Write it down.
All right.
$1 bet. Will Max Crosby be with the Raiders or some other team when the season starts on September, whatever it is?
Okay. Okay. Because it's a dollar. I mean, I think I would say that I should get 2 to 1, but we'll make it an even bet. So,
I give you $1.50 to one.
oh,
There's
okay. Okay. There you go. All right. I'm definitely writing that down. $1.50. All right.
now,
The
now you're going back.
chances if I win the bet and see that money are so slim, but anyway, that's a different story. So,
But in general, it's been I didn't think this was a great free agent class. There's a lot of good players, solid players. Nobody you go, oh my God, I can't believe this guy's available.
well,
And so, go ahead.
did you see what Daniel Jones signed for? Did you? I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. Did
I'm
you see what
sorry, I'm still in shock. He signed for 2 years
Duke's
and 100 million.
44 million a year? Duke's Daniel Jones is going to make more than Sam
Now,
Darnold.
here's the problem. And because he played for the New York Giants, I've seen him. He's just a guy.
Yeah,
Like he's got some athleticism, but he's literally just a guy.
he's a B quarterback.
I'm not even sure he's a B.
You don't think
He's
so? Okay.
I would say I could be wrong, so I'm going to the videotape right quick.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, he's nobody sits there and goes, "That's the guy's taking us to the Super Bowl." And so
Right.
I don't know why they felt um, I don't know why they felt compelled to pay him that. Like you coming off this Achilles, what's your market, dog?
Yeah. Well, it's again, it's a
Daniel Jones last year in Indianapolis, 68% completion percentage. That's good. 3,100 yards, 19 TDs, 8 interceptions.
he played what 10 games, 11 games last year?
No, he played 13.
He did. Oh, I didn't realize he played 13.
He averaged 8.1 yards a attempt, which is good.
That's respectable.
And you know what? Those were almost, and see, this is the problem with Daniel Jones as I'm looking at it. Almost all of those were career highs, and they're just mad numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and coming off an Achilles too. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, this is why we love America. This is capitalism at its finest.
Right. Right.
Um,
But I also think there's a couple of things. One is I think the AFC was particularly weak last year. I'm not sure how much better it's going to get this season.
right.
Um, do you believe in the Jaguars or the Texans or the
Uh,
Titans in that division?
let me see. The Titans, no.
Right.
Uh, the
Is he better than Cam Ward, Daniel Jones?
I don't. It's
Right
too early
now,
to
right now he
say.
probably is. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a function of just Cam. Let me look at Cam Ward for a couple more years.
But
Uh,
I guess the point is you look at that division and you go, Trevor Lawrence, who
yeah, but check this out. I don't even like Kyler Murray. I'd rather have Kyler Murray for 1.3 million.
oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't even like Kyler Murray.
Right.
I might would have rather had Malik Willis for 3 years and 60 million
Well,
than
he
like
signed
I
he
don't
signed for what is that what he signed for? 3 years for 60?
3 years
Yeah.
67.
Yeah, that's I thought it was about 22. Yeah, about 22 million.
Now, this is all monopoly money, but Daniel Jones, to me, like I got quarterbacks in tiers. Like he ain't no $44 million quarterback.
No.
He's in the if Baker Mayfield was in the 30 range, the 33 range, he's not even as good as Baker Mayfield. He should be in the 28, the 30, whatever.
I agree
like
with that.
Sam Darnold before last year.
I
28
agree with
million, 29, 30. It's still monopoly money. I mean, it's still like, oh my God, you're rich beyond your dreams.
Right.
But if he signed 2 years, 60, I go, okay, that's about right. I'll even give you 64. Okay, all right, I feel you. 88?
Yeah.
Man, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, he's at least
dude.
Yeah.
This is a league where 2-1 is the standard. Touchdown interception is 2-1 for good quarterbacks. Good solid quarterbacks, 2-1. Elite quarterbacks, 3-1. Badass dudes, 4-1. That's the standard. Daniel Jones, 89 TDs, 55 picks.
So not even 2-1. Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to be less than 2-1 in today's NFL? Yeah. Bro, you gotta suck to do that. I mean, you gotta work at it.
Right. But when you look at it,
now he did get 2-1 in Indianapolis last year.
Yeah.
And that's probably what they're looking at.
So I don't know. Indianapolis, I don't know. I think
let me give you the test. Let me give you the test. Pretend you're the Colts GM, and you go home and say, "Hey, baby," and Yulia says, "Yes, my love. What is it?"
You obviously haven't talked to Yulia recently. Yeah, right.
You go, "We just signed Daniel Jones to 2 years, 88 million. See how she treats you that later on that night. See if you're getting a bubble bath or if you're sleeping on the couch."
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a hard sell. I mean, it really is. But
okay, 2-1 odds. Will Daniel Jones have 2-1 touchdown interceptions next year? Should he play 8 games?
8 games or more, 2-1 touchdown to interception ratio?
Yes.
For the Colts? Yeah, he will.
Okay, we'll put that down for $1.
Okay.
2-1 odds.
Okay.
Hey, make sure you write that down. I want all my money.
Okay.
Cash app, Zelle, or cashier's check.
Yeah. Okay.
You're laughing. Does this look like a face of man who's
laughing? Yeah. Well, listen. I mean, you have potentially $3 coming your way. This is going to be all consuming for the next 6 months. You know,
in this economy, every dollar matters.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. But okay.
All right. That's all the free agent news we got for you. Bottom line for me is, you know what? Daniel Jones is so overpaid, but this is America, and that's why I love this country.
Bottom line for me, this is a really weak free agent market, and there's a reason. It's a weak free agent market, and particularly weak free agent market for quarterbacks, and that's why Daniel Jones got paid what he did. Yeah.
Your president and mine met with a bunch of leaders in the sports world, none of whom played the game, about college football last week. And a college football forum wanted to talk about how to get this thing under control. Let me just say this. And I say this out of love.
Of course, as you do everything.
Somebody who loves college football. I'm just going to say it. Every single one of those guys who spoke, and women, are so full of poop, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And here's what I mean. And this is when you know that they're full of poop. When they start talking about academics. And oh my God, a guy like Jeremy, he's not going to be able to graduate when they have never cared.
Never.
Ever. Now, they like for you to graduate, and they say, "Hey, Jacques Pink, we'd love for you to graduate. Your academics are important. Hey, coach, I got a biology lab, and I can only take it from 3 to 5 Tuesday and Thursday. Son, you seem like you need another major to me if you want to play this."
Right.
That happens all the time. Or I'm thinking about majoring in physiochemistry. Son, I don't think that's a good idea.
I
I
think
think
I think a com
intermediary studies is
yeah, I
really,
think a comms degree is in your future. Well,
dude. So they don't care, man.
well, my takeaway from it, I came up with a takeaway that is going to be a little bit couple of leaps if you have to go with me on it. Is it was so silly and so unwieldy and so many different voices. And the idea was there would be an executive order that is, and even the president himself said it, that is essentially unenforceable or would be blocked or sued in some form.
Right?
And I'm sitting there kind of reading about it, looking at it, and going, you know what? You know what I think is going to happen?
Was it?
I think the if the SEC and the Big Ten can get along, I think the SEC and the Big Ten are going to look around and go, you know what? We're not going to wait around for this. We're going to break away and do our own thing. And that's going to become a de facto uh, Saturday professional football league with about, I think there's 38 teams between the two conferences. Maybe
Right.
they add two more teams. I think you're going to be a de facto 40 team college football conference. And that's what's going to end up happening. That there is no, the NCAA has been so ineffective for so long. I don't see that being resolved. And I think it's going to take something like that to break away to form the beginning of some modicum of structure to college sports. And I think that's going to happen.
Well, that's why the NCAA has no juice, which is why they can't win any court cases.
Right. Right.
Nobody,
So it's
nobody
there's
cares what they think.
so you're going to foist a structure on all these they're going to try to foist a structure across all college football across essentially this is a college football play because of the money that it generates. And if I'm some of these college football programs, or if I'm the SEC and the Big Ten, I'm looking around and going, I don't really need you. What we
Yeah,
do is the SEC needs the Big Ten and the Big Ten needs the SEC. But beyond that, I don't think it matters. And maybe you end up expanding each conference to 25 teams, so there's 50 teams or whatever it is, or you expand it into
right.
four, what the old Big Ten East, Big Ten West, or two divisions in the Big Ten and two divisions in the SEC, and they're each 12 teams. And you just end up doing a playoff format like that. That's what I think is going to happen. And because I think that's the only way that it's going to work is you do need to have
Now,
it,
those
yeah.
are the kids who play for those teams students, or are they just athletes?
Are they students now?
Well, some of them are probably about like how many on a. Well, see, that's a very good question. On Ohio State's team, if they have 90 players, how many are true student athletes? See, I would say probably 55 or so, maybe 60. Because some cats realize right away, oh, I better get this
Yeah,
degree.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
what
they're not that good, or relatively speaking, they're like,
right.
I'm here. Yeah, I better get this degree.
Right. Right. Yeah, do I think let me ask you this question. How many are student athletes first of those 90? That's not 55 or 60. There
Well,
are
that's the third. Anybody who's third team or below
yeah, I agree with that.
at
So,
a non-skill position.
yeah,
So that's probably about 15%.
the money that's generated for these sports is not by the third team, as we know. It's by the top players who are they're paid professional athletes, who happen to be students. They're not
Yeah,
students who are athletes, and that's okay because that's what it is right now. And I think it's such an unwieldy number of schools and teams and competing voices that I think because nothing will be agreed upon and nothing will end up happening. I think I'd have to look at the college football playoff television uh,
right.
contract, but it'll be something will be done in conjunction with that, and it'll be an SEC Big Ten or some sort of facsimile of the top 50 teams or the top 40 teams that are going to be its own entity. Because that's even if you just even look at the NFL right now, every year in the NFL, maybe 6 to 8 teams maybe have a chance to win. the Super Bowl every year. And if you look at college football, every year maybe 6 to 8 teams have a chance to win, you know?
Maybe it's more
And
like
yeah, it's
closer to 6 than 8.
yeah, it's probably like I mean, it's
It's
probably
true.
closer to four,
Yeah,
and so you don't care about team 31, you don't care about team 41 to 110. They don't matter. And
right.
I think quickly that's what's going to happen. And I think you'll end up with, you know, a division, the SEC Big Ten equivalent championship, and then you'll have a lower level championship team, a lower level championship for the other teams.
Really?
I think it's the only way it's going to work out because I think there's too much power in the hands of the SEC and the Big Ten football teams. I think the NCAA and the broader kind of construct of a large unwieldy organization isn't going to work. And I think by default, that's what's going to happen.
Well, ultimately, for them to enforce the rules that they want, they can't. And then I think if they make them employees, there's so much other stuff involved. It just doesn't work right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the reason, it's an interesting quandary. But I chuckle, and it could just be me when they say stuff like, "Well, fans don't like all the transfers. They don't know who's the players on the team are blase blase."
Yeah.
And I go, the thing about college football in general is you root for the name on the front of the jersey.
Hmm.
You're a Buckeye, I'm down with you.
Right.
You play for Michigan, you suck.
Hmm.
Oh, you transferred to Ohio State, I'm down with you.
Hmm.
Oh, you transferred to Michigan,
Hmm.
you suck.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah. College football is very tribal with
yes.
no question about it. And
So
yeah,
that thing doesn't fly with me.
yeah, I think that's right. I just don't see this working other than the Big Ten and the SEC or the big schools getting together and saying, you guys can argue while you guys are arguing about whatever it is you're arguing about, this is what we're going to do. And they're going to end up doing it. And you know what's going to happen? That's where all the money is, and that's where all the power is, and that's what's going to be accepted.
Yeah, because money and power rule, baby.
That's right.
And that will segue. So the bottom line for me is you got to do what you got to do. And, the administrators gawking, hawking, screaming about this, they don't care about the athletes. And so, shut up.
The bottom line for me is that for the last 50, 60 years, there's been thought or a desire, or there's been real two professional football leagues that have kind of always been, whether it's the AFL and the NFL. Now we're going to come with two equivalent of professional football leagues, the NFL, and then ultimately this is going to morph into the college football league, which is going to be a quasi-professional league that's going to happen to play on Saturdays and happen to play with college teams. I think that's going to be the ultimate outgrowth of all these quote unquote student athlete college sports conversations that are going on right now.
As long as EA Sports makes a video game that takes all that into consideration, I'm good. And
Okay.
now we have the most amusing part of the show where we dip our toes into the Ohio State conversation of the week. And imagine my surprise when I saw a clip on TikTok or Twitter or X or something that said Bruce Thornton is now Ohio State's all-time leading basketball scorer. And I was like, okay, first off, I literally heard Bruce Thornton's name about sometime in the last month.
Right.
And I go, oh, okay. And then I heard Matt Painter, the Purdue coach, waxing poetic about him about 2 weeks ago. He stayed 4 years, and he's
Right.
the kind of guy you build around.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I go, wow, he's the all-time leading scorer. So I was shocked.
Okay. Um, I share your sentiment. And when, by the way, I hadn't heard Matt Painter's comments like that, but when Matt Painter makes comments like that, that's another way of saying he's a pretty good college player, but he'll never really go very high in the pros, right?
Well, that's
Which is
why he did
fine.
4 years.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. So he's a leading scorer. Who are the second and third leading scorers in Ohio State basketball history?
Okay, now
I had to look this up. I had to
I
look
don't
this up.
I feel confident about number two.
Okay, who's that?
And if I'm wrong, my feelings are going to be hurt.
I think you might be wrong. I think you're going to say the wrong name, but go ahead.
Dennis Hopson should be number 2.
Dennis Hopson is number 2. Very good.
All right. See, I feel good because I was in school when Dennis Hopson was playing.
Yeah, yeah.
And for whatever reason, we're Facebook friends. And while we don't talk often on Facebook, perhaps we interact once or twice a year. We do interact once or twice a year. Now, number 3, that's a little more difficult.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take a shot in the dark.
Uh-huh.
Complete shot in the dark.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to guess Jerry Lucas.
No, it is not Jerry Lucas. It's a good guess.
Okay, is it old school or new school?
It is right around, he's right around our age.
Damn.
You'll when I say it, you'll go, okay.
See, now I got to think about. I'm thinking about guys who
played. I'll give you a hint. He played professionally for a number of years. Probably known professionally. Played on the Knicks. He went to East High School, which no longer exists in Columbus, Ohio.
You know, these are so many guesses. I feel dumb now.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Herb Williams. You don't even remember Herb Williams.
I know Herb Williams. I've heard the name.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed Herb. Herb Williams was nowhere in my consciousness. Kelvin Ramsey was in my consciousness.
Kelvin Ramsey was a player.
Clark Kellogg was in my consciousness.
Yeah, there was
I was like, Jim Jackson didn't play long enough.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe Jay Burson. Those were all Herb Williams, never in my consciousness.
Herb Williams was he's a center. He was a great.
I remember him now that you said it, but
great college player.
I would have never guessed Herb Williams.
Yeah, there was a stretch in the 80s, really, and not that anybody cares, but like in the 80s where Ohio State had some very good basketball teams and teams with some very good players. Kelvin Ramsey.
We had a good 10-year stretch, man. Recently, and then our biggest issue was one and dones. We get great players for a year, and then that year it'd be great, and then they leave, and it's hard. It's hard to operate like that when you're not a basketball school,
right?
But I mean, they had a nice, probably 10-year run where they were in the Final Four, or one of the better teams in the country. Back when I used to know the players, I can't, outside of what's his name, Bruce Thornton.
Right.
I can't name you another player on the team. And I think the coach's name is John Diebler.
Yeah, it is. It is.
He played at Ohio State. I believe he was a 3-point shooter.
Those are true things. That's true.
But I can't name you another dude on the team.
Neither can I.
I have a guess.
Neither can I. Do you know where Bruce Thornton was Mr. Basketball his senior year I didn't know this. In what state was he Mr. Basketball? I would never have guessed it.
Okay, I'm going to guess because of the nature of the question. I think it's is it an unusual state?
No.
Oh, okay. So I would say Indiana.
Georgia. He was Mr. Basketball in Georgia.
Really?
Yeah. Which makes me think basketball in Georgia probably isn't that great.
The whole time?
Say again?
He didn't transfer from anywhere?
No, he can't. He's 4 years at Ohio State.
So we got Georgia's Mr. Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't that good coming out of high school.
Well, that's what I think. Again, I did all of about 3 minutes of research on it, but I think that was sort of my takeaway also. But
I ain't mad at him. And you know what? Let me tell you real talk. The best thing, and I believe people when they say this about NIL and transfer. I believe this 100%. The best thing Bruce Thornton has done, okay, he stayed 4 years, he's all-time leading scorer. But now, if you live in Columbus or the surrounding area, when Bruce Thornton comes in and says, hey, I'd like to get a job here, you go, oh, you played for the Buckeyes for 4 years. He's got name recognition, and I think in the city of Columbus and its suburbs, he can function as off his name and what he's done around town. And that's the downside if you transfer every year.
Mm-hmm.
You belong to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And, me and Pink are talking why? Because we went to the same school 40 years ago.
Right.
And you've got friends and people that you meet there that create relationships forever. Yeah. And when you're at 4 schools in 4 years, it's hard to do that.
So Do you
We
consider
might have
Joe
played
Burrow?
Stratomatic together if we was on there for a year, but we would have never got on the basketball court together.
Right. So do you think Joe Burrow, do you consider him a Buckeye? You consider him LSU? Who do you?
Um, I consider him an LSU Tiger who went to Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, you can't claim Joe Burrow. I mean, you can, but I don't feel any need to because Dwayne Haskins did everything.
Yeah,
Whatever Joe Burrow would have done, Dwayne Haskins did it at Ohio State. They just
I
didn't win that.
agree. I agree. I think he's an LSU guy, but I hear
Yeah.
A lot of Ohio State fans are claiming him, and I
Okay. On
think,
the Ohio
yeah,
State fan meter,
uh-huh.
I'm about an 8.5
Out of what? 10?
out of 10.
Uh-huh.
Meaning, I'm really into my team. I get upset when they lose. I bitch and moan, all that stuff. But I ain't never gonna text like people who are nines and tens. When somebody chooses to go to another school, they text them, "Your life will never been as good as it was at Ohio
Oh, oh,
State."
right, right, right.
I don't know the too deep, and then I don't
Yeah,
know 24 to 25 recruits coming in. Those
right.
people are nines and tens.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
And nines and tens are the only ones claiming Joe Burrow.
right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Joe
I'm
Burrow
definitely,
went to Ohio State.
yeah.
He barely lost out the starting job to Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins played, and you see why he lost the job out barely. Dwayne
Hmm.
Haskins was a first round pick in the draft. I mean, you ain't got to claim Joe Burrow
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm
for
probably
football cred.
yeah, I'm probably about the same. I'm probably about an 8.5. The only reason I might be slightly higher is that I grew up in Columbus. So it's kind of a little bit more. So, but I'm definitely not in the nines. There's no way. Uh,
No, that's why I don't know nobody on the basketball team.
right. Or
I
we,
mean, the nines and tens, they know everybody, man.
yeah, or, or the fact that the women's hockey team is like probably the best program
Right?
at the school. And we didn't know that
Like
either.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, see, this is a good test. Who is the top football recruit that Ohio State signed that's coming to campus next year?
What is it? Chris Henry, the receiver, I think.
Okay, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Who's the second best?
No idea.
Okay, see, I don't either.
Yeah, right.
I literally have no idea.
Right.
Like, I don't even have a guess. I can't even
Yeah.
give you a name.
Yeah.
My boy Albert Breer, one of my good friends, he can probably give you the top 10.
Oh, sure.
If he can't give you the top 10, he can definitely give you top 5.
Hmm.
But, he's a 9. He could be a 9.5. But that's the difference. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope
No, no, no.
everybody's straight with that. Everybody understands that.
Yeah.
And with that, very passionate conversation about Ohio
Uh-huh.
State basketball and what it means to be an Ohio State fan. We will see you next week on another edition of the Bottom Line on Sports. He's Jeremy Peak. I'm Jean-Jacques Taylor. Good day.
All right. See you next week, everybody. And I'm really glad I got to mention the name Herb Williams. Takes me way back.